next 2 races on the schedule, you're the defending winner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it helps, right? But I mean, we're the reference, and we don't have a reference to base off of on who's best. So we're just doing everything development based on what we think is going to be better, and everybody has a reference from us. So we still got to keep pushing it. It makes our lives even harder, I think, when you are the reference. So of course it's good. It's a good feeling, but at the same time it is hard. So we're still trying to make these cars better. We're still trying to make them faster. We still got development stuff that we need to try, and hopefully it plays out well for us. We've been reasonable on street courses, not as strong as maybe we have been in the past. So only time will tell once we get out there.
You know what's missing? Maybe if you knew you used to you're not as strong as you have in the past. You know what's kind of missing?
Street courses. No, I don't really know. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. It's not everywhere though, right? Like Arlington, we're phenomenal. We're a little bit better at St. Pete than the previous year, but Long Beach was we went from being like 4 tenths up the road to being like 2 tenths behind, so we're kind of scratching our heads a little bit there. So hopefully it's not the same here.
You talked in Long Beach about, because of the success you had there, the expectation was absolutely to win. Is that kind of the same thing here, or is it just kind of figuring out how to be back on the podium as well?
Yeah, I think the expectation is to win. If we're as fast as we expect to be, I think anything less than a win is probably not ideal unless there's some crazy strategy thing and we feel like we did the best. But in the case scenario where we do everything right, strategy plays out how we expect, and we don't win, and the cars are fast, I think it's going to be a disappointment. So that's kind of the thought process around it.
Santino made waves this week about the schedule and everything like that. Are you somebody who feels like this should be a week off before going to whatever the next race is?
Yeah, somebody just mentioned that. Was it Santino that was? I mean, it's the way you look at it, right? I think I don't need a break. Maybe he does, but I don't feel like I need a break. I like driving every single weekend. I think it's great, even on my off weekends. I like to go drive IMSA or do whatever I possibly can to stay driving. Maybe for the crew guys and whatnot, I think that's probably the thought process. But quite honestly, like it shows people's weaknesses a little bit better. The people that are more prepared, more prepped, have the idea of what they need to do, and are focused on the future, do better in these circumstances. So I think it's a good thing. And then there's also the viewership side, where we come off a phenomenal Indy 500, maybe the best ever. The finish was incredible. People want to see IndyCar the next week, and they're going to turn it on and be like, "Oh, I watched that last week. I'm going to put IndyCar on again and see how this race goes." So I think we need to keep racing. We need to have back-to-back races. I think it's great for everything. Of course, it's going to be hard on people, like any sport is, but that's why we train, that's why we prep, that's why we do all the work in the off-season to make sure that it goes fluid.
Do you think the following race should also be an oval after the 500?
No, I think this is actually great that it's a street course. It shows the diversity of our sport, going from the highest speed to one of the lowest speed circuits and mixing it all up. It shouldn't be like a bunch of ovals, a bunch of street courses, a bunch of road courses. That would kind of look weird in a schedule, right? So I like that it's a different cadence.
We don't know what doctors Kyle Busch saw, what type of treatment he was under, but seeing what happened to him, will that make you think twice or say, hey, be more aggressive if you don't feel well?
Certainly. Yeah, certainly. It goes to show that health is priority, right? Priority number one. I think a lot of us as racing drivers, like I'll give you an example. When I was younger in IndyCar, in 2022, I injured my hand and my wrist really bad at Detroit, and I'm just like, in my mind, all I think about is racing and driving and wanting to push. And at that time, now looking back at it, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have been trying to drive, because I ended up crashing in that race because of it. So it puts things in perspective for sure.
I think 500 is an anomaly, right? You're not looking at championship. Is it an easy mindset to switch back to championship mode a week later?
Yeah, it's hard to get your mind off the 500 though, right? Because it is the biggest race of the year. You dwell on it quite a bit. It's hard to get rid of it, but it's actually nice having a race right after. Switch the mindset, get into race mode, get into championship mode. At a street course where we know we've done really well, it's actually nice that you can kind of just forget about everything that happened last weekend, especially when it didn't go well for you. So, yeah, I think it's quite easy. It's hard, like in the days coming up to this event, but once you get here, like it just puts you into a mode.
Awesome. Thank you.